Hello everyone, this video is to show you how to make those three changes to your HTML sample codes. If you are using a Windows, then you can just use Notepad to edit your code and then you can view the effect of those changes in any web browser. But if you are using a Macintosh, you will need to first make some change in setting for text edit. Let me show you what does that mean. So this is a index.html page. If I just double click it, it will be opened in a web browser, so I can see the effect of those HTML and CSS codes. But if I want to edit those codes, of course I cannot edit them directly in any web browser. I need to find a text edit. In Macintosh, I can use this text edit. So if I open this index page in text edit, and then I will see those codes. So does for those CSS code. However, the reason why I can view those codes now is because I already make some change in text edit's preference. So the default setting for text edit is here. For format, the default setting is rich text. And this one display HTML files as HTML code instead of formatted text is not checked in default setting. So let me come back to default setting, and if I open this index page with text editor, okay, I will not see those codes. What I'm seeing here is almost like what I'm seeing in a Word document. So to edit HTML and CSS code, I need to change the format here from rich text to plain text, and also check this displayed HTML file as HTML code instead of formatted text. And now if I open this text index page, I can see the plain code. Okay, that's a tricky part for Macintosh. Okay, the first question here, the first change should be change one image in the index page. Let me just search some page here. Okay, this one looks good. But when you are downloading those images, pay attention to the copyright issue. So there are two ways I can attach this image in my index HTML page. I can use a link image address directly, or I can save this image to my desktop in the image folder, so it becomes a local file, and then I can attach that local file to my index page. I recommend you not to use a direct verb link, because that means once the verb link changed, the author of this page moved this image to somewhere else, you will not find it, and it will not be showed on your page. So it will be better to save it as a local file. Okay, this is my image folder. Let me just call it social media news. This is not image. Let me click the image. Okay, this time it is a JPEG image, but HTML file. Okay, go back to my image folder. I have this new image now. Good. Okay, go back to my index page. Let me replace that image in header with a new image. Since the new image is also in that image's folder, I can just replace it with the image name, image title. Okay, now you can see this is a new image. Here you need to pay attention to the file path, the absolute and relative URL. For example, if all the files are in the same folder, then you can use file name, file title directly. If it is in a child folder, you need to indicate the child folder first. If it is in a parent folder, you need to indicate that parent folder at first. Let me show you an example. Okay, so if this social media use image is not in the image folder, but it is at the same level of this index page, and what will happen if I refresh? Oh, you can see I don't have this image, right? Because the file path now is not correct. So now it is at the same level of this index page. So in the file path, I should not include the images folder, because this is if this new image is in the images folder, it means it is actually in a child folder compared to this index page. So in this case, I will need to change the file path image path just to the image title, image name. Okay, as you can see, it's back. Okay, so this alternative means an alternative description of this image. This is a required attribute for an image. If you take a look at the how to insert image here. Okay. So if for some reason a browser cannot find that image, you have already seen that, right? Then the description in the alternative attribute will be shown to at least tell the user some basic information about that image. And you can also change the height and width of that image, although those styles have already been defined in the CSS file by this center class. If you take a look at the center class here, displays margin left, margin right, and width. but you can still identify those value here, because if you identify styles in HTML file, then if it is in the body part, it will be inline style. If it is in the head, that will be internal CSS. And this is, of course, external CSS. And inline style always overrides, has higher priority than internal CSS, and then internal CSS always overrides and has higher rank comparing to external CSS. So you can still, regardless of what has already been identified in the CSS file for the center class, you can you can indicate the width and height you want for a certain image. Oh, what is a appropriate pixel? I would say probably this is 400 and height is 300. Okay, you can see the size of this image has been changed, right? But I think the original size looks better. Okay, this is the first change we have made to replace a certain image with a new image. And the second one, I believe, is to either you can add one item to the list, or you can add one row to the table. So here is a list to indicate the top social media platforms in 2018. Okay, let me add one for, I would say, 2019. The first one could be TikTok. I'm not using it. Okay, you just need to add one list item inside of this organized list. I refresh. Okay, you can see I have a TikTok here. For a full description of list, you can go to here, HTML part 1. Creating HTML list, unordered list, ordered list, which is OL. Unordered list is UL. Nested list. And you can even make some change to the list style. There are different attributes you can use associated with list, or ordered list, or unordered list. Like this one, you can apply a certain style to a list item. I will say the style for this list item TikTok, the list style type will be square. And if I save it and then let me refresh the page, you can see here, right, it is a square now instead of a circle. But this looks too strange, I think. I think it would be better if you want to make a modification on list style, you apply it to an unordered list or order list instead of a list item, which means we can move this style from this list item TikTok to this OL ordered list. Then all list item here, their styles will be square instead of circle. Flash. Okay, as you can see here, this is a effect. Okay, this is a second change we have made. The last one is make another change, background from family, from size, anything in the CSS file. This is that external CSS file. Basically, you can make a change to anything here. For example, if I want to make the front family for the body, which means the entire page, to let's say times, and reload. You can see the front of this entire page has been changed. Or I can, this is a style for the paragraph. You can see background. You can change it to another color. So there are several representations for color. Let me open my PowerPoint. You can use RGB value. You can use HSLA value, or you can simply use a name of a certain color, such as like red, green, blue. I can say I want the background color for all paragraph to be blue. That will look strange, I think. But this is just a demo. Okay, as you can see, those are the paragraph. The background of those paragraphs now becomes blue. That's really too much. Or you can for example, make a new background color for all heading 1, heading 2. Change the width of ordered list, change the background color for ordered list, or for table. Or for the container class, or for the center class, as you like. Oh yeah, I should also show you how to make a modification to the table, right? So I can add one more row. for this table. TH. The first row is the table head. TikTok. And TD, table description, 100%. %. Those are just the random numbers. I can leave it empty here. I save it and refresh page. You can see this is a new column for TikTok. Editing a table is a little bit more complex than editing a list, right? Because if you want to add one row here, you need to add another 1, 2, 3 rows to make it a new column. Otherwise, it makes no sense. But you can add either a list item or a row or a column to a table. So you don't need to do both if you don't want to do both. Okay, that's pretty much all for those 3 changes in your HTML sample code. I hope you can first take a look at all HTML and CSS resources and then make those 3 changes. Then you will have a whole picture of how CSS and HTML and CSS work. Okay, that's all for this video. Thank you.